Yep, Dodge is trolling the heck out of us, folks. If you were on Instagram today and you saw the video from Dodge Official posted of the new Daytona EV, yes, I believe it was the EV. I'm 99.9% positive it was the EV with the loud roaring engine going through a tunnel coming out the other end. And then you watched the comments where everybody was screaming at each other, some saying, that is speakers, that is Bose speakers coming from the car. Others saying, no, that is the twin-turbo inline-six. I can hear the turbo. Just listen, you can hear the turbo. And then others are coming back, no, it's the EV. I mean, it's launching very soon, so it just makes sense that they would troll us like this. I think it's brilliant from Dodge to do this. Let me go ahead and play that video real quick in case you haven't seen it, and let me know what you think. All right, so did you hear the whine of those turbos? Did you hear the roar of that engine? Now, here's the deal. I'm convinced that that is not the twin-turbo i6, and here's why. They told us that, at least on DodgeGarage.com as well, that the inline-six would not have the R-wing. And I'm going to jump over to my other computer. First, I want to show you what the six-pack looks like. And you can see that there is no R-wing on the six-pack. But if you look at this video and you look really, really closely, you can see there's an R-wing there. I mean, it's really faint. They did that on purpose, and they caused all kinds of controversy, and everybody's arguing with each other. But I'm telling you, it's got an R-wing, which means it is an electric vehicle with that engine sound. But they wanted us to fight with each other. They wanted to show us how genuine they could make this thing sound. And the thing that's confusing people is the original launch of the Daytona back at Speed Week showed the sound. They played the sound, and I'll play it real quick from Speed Week so you can hear. It sounds nothing like this. But if you paid attention, Tim Kuniskis said many times that was not the final sound. They were working through the sounds. They were looking at finding that perfect sound, and I think this is what they came up with. Now let's jump onto my other screen, and I'll show you. I think the R-wing's there. That means it's electric. All right, so here is that Instagram post, and I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and then I'm going to stop as this thing comes flying up, and you see, watch, I'll slow this thing down. You will see right here, as you see it come out, that there is that R-wing. I mean, it is really faint, and some of you might call BS, but you see that line right here all the way across. And yes, you could say that's just a panel gap. That's just where the hood meets the front cap. But no, this is, I believe, that is the R-wing. Plus, everything on the front looks just like the front of the other videos that we saw. And some said there was a hump there. That means that it's the six-cylinder. No, there's a hump on the EV. There's a hump we saw in the EV photos and shots people caught out there on the highway. So that doesn't mean anything. But if you look at the front of these two cars, they're exactly the same. I mean, nothing's different. So R-wing means it's EV. They needed to get rid of it to be able to fit the radiator and all the other stuff in there for an engine. But in the EV, it's got that. So they're trolling the daylights out of us, folks. And I just can't help but to laugh at everybody arguing with each other on Instagram. And then here's the additional proof that I completely believe, let me go back here, that I believe proves my point. Mopar Insiders, I'll put a screenshot up here. They came out right away saying Dodge is teasing everybody with their Fratzonic exhaust for 2024 in the Dodge Daytona. And they went in explaining everything about it. And I got to tell you, I mean, if anybody knows, they generally have the right information. They know, and I can't imagine they'd publish a story if they didn't have the inside track. That was a fake exhaust sound. The other reason I believe that there's no way that was a twin-turbo inline-six, just because it had the turbo sounds, they can put anything they want in those speakers, is because it was way too loud. Even going through a tunnel, it was way too loud for a factory stock car. You know, even with the Hemis, they come out and they're not super loud. We take the mid mufflers off and we do things to make them louder, but from the factory, they are not that loud, and certainly not as loud as this thing was at the distance that it got, and you could still hear it. So they created this, they put this up just to troll us all.
Gotcha, bitch!
To get everybody arguing with each other. And yes, I caught myself jumping in, arguing with a few folks saying, no, it's the EV. They're going to launch it, I think this week even. Any day now, that EV is coming out. And they are jamming that thing. I'd say that's the Scat Pack. They're jamming this thing down our throat to get us arguing. Because if they can get us arguing about whether it's a gas engine or whether it is an EV making that sound, either way, our argument says there's enough doubt and that they pegged that sound well enough to fool even the enthusiasts. Even the most dedicated Mopar enthusiasts believed that that was a gas engine. Now, I'll tell you, in my opinion, it sounded way more like a V8 than it did a V6 or a straight six. It sounded way more like a V8. But what do I know? Who knows? But in the end, depends on the exhaust, everything else. But in the end, it was not. It was a recording. It was coming from their Fratzonic speakers, and it was intended to get us all up in arms. And yeah, people are beating up on them really hard in the comments, but I'll tell you, I think it was a brilliant move by Dodge to get us arguing about whether it is or isn't a real engine sound. So with that, let me know, would you buy one of these things with a fake sound? I wouldn't. I don't want a fake sound. There's a million analogies I could make that would probably get me in trouble on YouTube, but I don't want to fake anything. I want a real engine with a real engine sound. I would be mortified. I would be embarrassed beyond belief. I would be cringing to the craziest extent if I rolled into an event, a Cars and Coffee or a track or anything with a big fake engine sound. Just be what you are, man. You want to drive an EV, then drive an EV. No need to put a sound in that thing. It is what it is. Whatever sound it naturally makes, let it make that sound. Don't put a fake engine in there. That's like me wearing lifts in my shoes, which, God, I would really love to do because, damn it, barely 5'9". I could use some lifts, but I'd get beat up. I'd be made fun of. I'm just going to embrace my height and move on, folks. So with that, no fake sounds, but would you buy one? And would you flex that sound at Cars and Coffee? Would you go to the track and flex that sound and rev that engine rev that thing while you're rolling in? Let me know in the comment section below, and like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. We were trolled. Bye-bye.
Gotcha, bitch!